Hey everybody, welcome back to SJG Perspective. How are you guys doing this fine afternoon, Sunday afternoon? So Tish James, she is the Attorney General for, let me put this over here for you guys to see what I'm talking about. She is the Attorney General for New York. And she basically said that the NRA is a terrorist organization. Where did she say that, you might ask? Well, give me one quick second and I will show you. So I'm not going to read this whole article here, but basically Letitia James on becoming New York's next Attorney General. So apparently she's already won, I believe. And down here in this little, when she was being interviewed, she said one of the questions the interviewer asked her was right up here. We'll read right here. She said, "What is the most important issue you've heard from what is the most important issue you have heard from prospective voters? President Donald Trump and the threat to our democracy and our values." That's the most important issue. That's not an issue. That was just a kind of a dumb sentence. The fact that his policies have reversed all the progress we have made under President Barack Obama and others. You notice how she doesn't go into that because there hasn't been a whole lot of reversal of progress. There's been some reversal of bad policies under Obama, which we're not going to go into here. But there's been actually a progress. Trump has progressed a lot of good policies, actually, like prison reform, which Obama never did, right? Which helped, as she's going to mention here, black and brown people. So we won't get into that either, but I'd like to just make that note that that's just, as we all know, just some, very, very, it's just rhetoric from the left, and they say it, so it sounds like it means something. There's an issue of public corruption in New York State. And why is there an issue of public corruption in New York State? Oh, that's right. It's been ran by primarily Democrats for so long. I will seek to restore confidence and integrity in public service. The foreclosure crisis is not behind us. Student debt is a major issue. The foreclosure crisis is largely due to things that Obama did, actually, to, reduce the qualifications to get a house, and thus got a lot of people into a house, a lot of black and brown people also, as she likes to refer to them, that couldn't afford it, and that they ended up having a foreclosure. Moving on, student debt is a major issue. Once again, that is, let's just push all these big loans out. And I'm not just saying that's a complete partisan left issue, but the left has a lot to do with that too. Healthcare is a challenge since they repealed the individual mandate. People are having a difficult time with premiums that have increased and are oftentimes deciding to go without medicine because of the costs, resulting in premature death and gun violence. So the healthcare, repealing the individual mandate has resulted in premature death and gun violence? Or is that like, and gun violence the next one? I don't know how she meant to say that. Maybe she was trying to relate that to the healthcare, but that doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to say, for the benefit of the doubt, in that sentence, what she's meaning is gun violence is one of the most important, issues. So then she goes on to say the NRA holds itself out as a charitable organization, but in fact, it really is a terrorist organization. So the NRA is a terrorist organization, according to the Attorney General from New York, who I am going out on the record to say will be a presidential candidate. Not in this cycle, but probably in the 2024 cycle or the one after that. So in the next decade, she will be running for president. I'll just tell you why I think that in a second. Women's rights in New York. We have not codified Roe v. Wade. New York has some of the most liberal abortion laws in the country. Wasn't it in New York, one of the places where now late-term abortions are legal? I believe it was. And like partial birth abortion, and you need to codify that. That hurts my brain. And in New York, and not codified Roe v. Wade. And last but not least, equal pay for equal work. All of these are just buzzword stuff that sounds really good to the left and sounds really good to the progressives, when it really, in reality, when you look into them, is not nearly as kind of big of an issue as they like to play it out that it is. We can address the feminization of poverty in the state. We can address the feminization of poverty in the state. So there is a issue of women in poverty in the state. That's interesting. That's an interesting train of thought. If you do win in November, what message do you have for the black voters who may be concerned with policies that have left them disenfranchised? I will put on the forefront of my legislative agenda and in my advocacy positions to reform the criminal justice system to bring justice to black and brown people. Oh, kind of like Trump did by prison reform. And to reverse a perverse economic development machine that has preyed upon the misery of black and brown people in New York. Again, by leftist liberal policies, democratic leftist liberal policies that have economically wreaked havoc on New York. Last but not least, I look forward to working in legalizing cannabis to end the drug war on black and brown people, which has been an abysmal failure. Why does it only affect the black and brown people also? It's just black and brown people, black and brown people, black and brown people. The legalizing marijuana, I think that's a great idea. I don't think it should be illegal. And ending the war on drugs, I think that's a great idea too. But I want to bring it back to the fact that they like to do a lot of lip service, the left and the liberals, while actually Trump reversed some of these policies and helped with these prison reform policies is helping black and brown people presently. But he gets no credit for that because he's a racist, apparently. He is a racist because he didn't condemn the people in Charlottesville, the white supremacists. Oh, no, wait, that's right. He did. He actually did condemn the white supremacists in Charlottesville, and he said that they're terrible people. But it's not the main talking point right now in the news. The main talking points and headlines and drive-bys are that he didn't condemn them, which is a lie. But it's interesting, again, identity politics front and center, right? That's what we're doing. Identity politics front and center. And we are telling people things they want to hear to try to make them feel good. And it's instead of telling people the truth and telling people where we need to go and pointing out the good things we do, it's all about just dividing us and to conquer us. Keep us mad at one another. Keep it us versus them. Keep it so that we can't get together and discuss ideas in a nonpartisan way to find out what's really going to help the black and brown people, as she keeps liking to refer to, and helping all people and helping our communities and our society, the society that we're living in and the communities that we're living in start to come together and heal. We just got to constantly divide. So, but I found that pretty funny in a kind of a sad way that she's now the New York Attorney General. And before that, she said she was going after NRA, and now she's going after the NRA. And so how she's going after the NRA is as follows. That was the wrong switch over. Let's try that again. Okay, here we go. She says that the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, announced Saturday that, I always mess up names, we know this, that her office has initiated an investigation into the NRA finances. The announcement came amid internal strife at the NRA, which led to the departure of NRA President Oliver North during the organization's annual convention this weekend. What are the details? In a statement, James' office confirmed the existence of the alleged investigation, but did not provide any additional details. The Office of the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, has launched an investigation related to the NRA. As part of this investigation, the Attorney General has issued subpoenas. The spokesperson for James' office said The New York Times reported that James' office also sent letters instructing the NRA and affiliate organizations to preserve relevant financial records. I wish somebody could have sent that same note to old Hillary in regards to her when we needed to get her server and check it out. But apparently that doesn't apply. Several businesses connected to the NRA also received the letters. According to the Times, the investigation is related to the NRA tax-exempt status. As CNN noted, the investigation comes after Every Town for Gun Safety, a gun control advocacy group, filed a complaint with James' office urging an investigation into the NRA's finances. And she was none too quick to comply, on that one, because she thinks they're a terrorist organization. James, who became New York Attorney General this year, vowed to investigate the NRA during her campaign. She even characterized the gun group as a terrorist organization in an interview with Ebony magazine. That's the one we just read. James' office has a special jurisdiction over the NRA because the organization is chartered in New York, according to the Times. How did the NRA respond? Attorney William Brewer, outside counsel for the gun rights group, said that NRA will cooperate fully with the investigation. The NRA will cooperate fully with any inquiry into the finances. The NRA is prepared for this and has full confidence in its accounting practices and commitment to good governance, he said in a statement. So pretty much you can put that one in your peace pipe and smoke it. So, yeah, it's just another attack, another soft attack on gun rights and the organizations that protect them. Guns are evil. They're bad. They kill people. We need to get rid of guns. We need to save people from guns. Guns are bad. And that's just, that's just the facts. Kind of like this next story. Man, don't we just jump into there? I'll cut this up later. Going back to old AOC here. Let's try her again. AOC Ocasio-Cortez wastes no time politicizing the Poway Synagogue shootings, and it backfires immediately. Representative AOC was sharply rebuked Saturday for quickly politicizing the tragic shooting at Chabad, a Poway Synagogue in California, which resulted in 1 death and 3 wounded. What did she do? Just hours after the shooting, AOC used the shooting to push her HR 8 gun control legislation passed by the Democrat-controlled House in February. The Republican-controlled Senate has not yet voted on the legislation. Excuse me. We have responsibility to love and protect our neighbors. The longer the Senate delays holding a vote on HR 8, the more we put Americans at risk. AOC wrote on Twitter after saying the shooting left her heartbroken. Heartbroken to hear the San Diego synagogue shooting, particularly so on this final day of Passover. We have a responsibility to love and protect our neighbors. The longer the Senate delays holding out a vote on H.R. 8, the more we put Americans at risk. Yeah, there's just a couple issues with that. I don't know if this gets into it or not. Probably does, but maybe we'll be touching this again. But the H.R. 8 is primarily a handgun bill, basically saying that between the ages of 18 and 20, no, you can't have a handgun. But 16-year-olds can vote. 18 to 20-year-olds are too incompetent and irresponsible to have a weapon, but 16-year-olds should be able to vote. I digress. But anyways, the gun bill addresses handguns, right? Well, it turns out that the crazy whack job that went in and killed, shot up the place and killed a person and wounded several others, used an AR-15, not a handgun, and he legally obtained it. And it also turns out, and I think this article touches on this, that California has some of the most stringent gun laws in the country, right? Adding more gun laws is not going to stop people from shooting. You want to know something else that's interesting about the shooting that happened? It was actually a good guy with a gun that chased off the bad guy with a gun. You see how that works? Taking guns away is never going to happen. It's never going to happen in America because those are rights that are codified in our Bill of Rights. And as any normal person can look at this that isn't looking to politicize this issue, but can look at it in a normal, common sense manner, can say, good people don't go shooting up other good people. It's bad people that do it. So what would be a good way to stop bad people? Put more guns in good people's hands and actually encourage it. Encourage it. Maybe give a tax break. Maybe give, and I don't know what it is. And I know not everybody is going to want to carry a gun. But if you quit demonizing guns and said, well, guys, we have a mental illness problem in this world, and it's time to thin the herd. So I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that one. But if you are comfortable with guns, we're going to incentivize you to carry a weapon. And if you go and you get your weapon and you get a X amount, you get a first safety, you take like 8 hours of a course training on that gun, and you get your concealed weapons permit, and you get a tax break. And let's say you continue with that plan, right? You continue with ongoing training every several months, you get another tax write-off. You can maybe write all that cost off in your taxes. And then all of a sudden you get responsible gun owners out on the streets, and you get responsible gun owners carrying their weapon. And when these events happen, and then you do away with gun-free zones, and because those do not ever stop a bad person from, it's not like, hey, this is a kill-free zone, so you're not going to be allowed to come in here and kill people this time. Sorry, we've designated it a kill-free zone. Now you're safe. No, that has never worked in the history of anything. Never, ever, ever. And it never will, because bad people want to do bad things when they want to do them. So the natural progression to that is put guns in the hands of good people who know how to use them. Because even in this scenario, it was a Border Patrol agent, an off-duty Border Patrol agent who was packing, who was able to actually help the situation out and stop this guy from killing many more people, chased him off. So at any rate, that's pretty much the long and the short of it here. There were some Twitter posts in here that I'm not going to go through all of them. AOC is a bit of a ring, and I think we all kind of know that. And she needs to just be quiet. She's a woman. She should know her place. You know what I'm saying? Speak when spoken to. Until next time, it is SJG Perspective. Please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification, and I will talk to you when I see you next. Later. Bye.